And let's get you into the conversation.
Okay, fine.
So, but Luther, just hold on. Scholar was just finishing.
That scenario.
Yeah, hold on, Luther. Just hold a sec. Luther, just hold a sec. Scholar was just finishing a point. So, Scholar, you just finish, and then we go to Luther.
No. I finished the point, and I asked Val, what's the value? I mean, how valuable that would be to the art form? You know, that people with experience, people with knowledge, people who can judge, and then you go and pick up a truck driver, a hairdresser. And I saw some of the credentials somebody posted. So
yes.
People it's the first time I've seen, I know something is wrong and something is going on. It's the first time I've seen so much negative posting of the competition in Trinidad. It's the first time I've seen so much negative posting. Things just go, people just have their favorite, people just feel this should have make it, that should have make it, but oh boy, this year you're pouring the long threads. I saw somebody post the preliminary judges and the criteria, and yes, I saw the hairdresser, and he jumped out at me and said, well, what is this? You know, of what value is it that you would not use people who know people? You would not even, let's say, even if you don't want to take what they're saying, but you have people with so much experience. I mean, reach out to them, get that get that.
Yeah, I can't speak to it, Scholar. Only people in the executive can, so I wouldn't even. But clearly something is wrong. And that's why I'm saying we are in a very interesting phase that we know that it has to be fixed. But we do have a background of too much information to work with to allow that to happen and to accept it. That's all I'm saying. Right. So that I know that, well, we can hear Luther, but we can't see him. I just got a snippet of his image just now, but it disappeared. Right. But since he is on, let's bring him in.
Yeah. Luther, are you right? Yeah. So we'd like to get your take on all that's been happening. I know you've been listening, so we'd like to get your take on all that's been going on.
Well, let me start by saying that this conversation could not have included anybody from the executive of TUCO. They can't talk at this level. This conversation is above their ability to understand. And the criteria that they have listed is evidence that they're dealing with a bunch of people who don't know what they're doing.
So unfortunate.
Okay? That is clear evidence. They don't understand what is melody. Melody has nothing to do with crowd reaction. That has to do with the song that is coming out of you. And nothing to do with crowd. Because you could have a beautiful melody and people could stand up and watch and they move. That has nothing to do with melody. It's a bunch of madness. But let me tell you, incompetence, ignorance, and corruption combined, it is what is responsible for what's happening. And at all levels, incompetence, ignorance, corruption combined. You could try to combine that and see what will happen. This is what happened. That's what manifested itself now. And they don't want to hear. The judges, they say they have training session. I have seen already that in January, the beginning of January, they put out a notice to get judges to come for training, to start judging in January. I've seen that already. I have to tell you that it's not important. They're just doing nothing. Just at the end of the training session, no assessment is done to determine whether the judges that they have trained understood anything, gathered anything from the training. They don't do any assessment. They just report. They have 2 or 3 sessions of training, and once you attend the training, you are a judge. That's it. You qualify as a judge because they attend the training program. That's what is happening, and it's been happening for years. somewhere in probably 1990 something, it was happening back then. Short Pants and I, we sat down and we put together a multiple choice exam. Multiple choice, at least have something. A multiple choice, and presented it to the organization and say, look, at the end of your training session, at least, and they didn't accept that then. They don't want to improve. I also suggested on more than one occasion, look, this judging thing is always a problem. We can improve the panel, we can improve your stock of judges. If at the end of the exercise, you bring the judges together, because they don't want to field questions from the Calypsonian. They feel like the Calypsonian might attack the judges, and that they have no reason to believe that. But they believe so they want the Kaisonian out of it. I say, look, let the judges among themselves get together so that they could discuss the disparities and so on and this in the judging, and they could, one could benefit from the other and so on. And like one judge will give a 38 total performance and 38, and the next judge giving 85 for the same performance. That big disparity, I mean, it begs for discussion. So all they get together, discuss among the judges themselves, the same people who judge, sit down and discuss, and at the end of the day, I believe that they will all be better off. And just knowing that at the end of the exercise, there will be this session where you would have to come and sort of account for your marks, that would encourage you to be more careful when you're marking. All of that went to the organization, and they ignore it. They don't want that. So the judges do the thing and they drop the sheet and they're gone. And that's it. Next year they come back and do the same thing or worse. And if it is, the judges are functioning and the organization is satisfied with what the judges do, will you go in and tell the judges they're doing a fine job because the organization are applauding them, are paying them, and so on? Talking about pay. What the judges get is a little stipend, a little thing, a little handout. Hold that now. That is ridiculous. For years I've been saying, have the judges on contract, treat them as professionals, pay them for the work that they're doing. Don't give them a little thing. Pay them and pay them on time for the work that they are doing. Then you could hold them responsible. But unless you can't hold them responsible, doing you a favor. I mean, the mess is, I will take a whole year to go through the mess that this organization is in. And the organization has to take full responsibility for the mess that we're in. Yeah?
Luther,
to fix it, you have to address it, and they don't want to address it. There was a time when the NCC was in control of the competition, that we were able, I was a part of the organization, I was a part of the executive, and I was leading this charge. We went to the NCC and we explained that given the artist, the competitor, his score sheet doesn't really tell him anything. We need to see the master sheet so that he can compare how the judges judge him against the others, and so on and so on and so on. And NCC agreed, and we used to have the master sheet on display in Tuco's office. So somebody from off the street, a non-competitor, could have come into the office and look at the master sheet. And we had that. But when we took control of the thing, we threw away that.
And so we meaning the Calypsonian, is it?
Yeah, when the Calypsonian, when Tuco became in charge,
yeah,
all the gains that we had, Tuco, ungain it, right? We had developed what you call a marking guide, a little card that will sort of guide you, because sometimes you had comments and the comments weren't commensurate with the marks. You have excellent and so on in the comments, and again marks like 43 and 45 and things. What will be excellent and again that kind of marks? So we say, okay, if in your opinion, this particular part of the criteria for the in this area, you find that the artist was excellent, then you're marking it out of 30, you're marking, and we did it out of 10. So that if it's 30, you do it out of 10 and you multiply it by 3. Okay, so you will find excellent would be between 7 and 10. So you have between 7 and 10, and then you multiply that by 3 if it's out of 30, and the case might be. So you're going to be able to like 27 to 30 or 26 to 30 for excellent. And then you have very good, might be between 22 and 26 and so on. So you have a card to give you a guide as to how to interpret your impression of the work. A guide. They throw away that. And now we have score sheets, comments, and the judges don't say anything. And the comments are more important in some cases than the marks, or just as important as the marks. No comments. So all of that is what Tuco has done to Calypso. And it's going to be worse if they continue. You have a membership who don't care. Their businesses, if they get a little thing, they could get a little $100 now and then from somebody in the office or thing, they're all right. So anything you do is okay. Call an election and go and vote for them again. All the bacchanal work going on, all the outcry that you're getting out from the public, not from Calypso, from the public, they still would be here. That's what we're dealing with. For a little piece of money, who eating our food and thing and small thing, it's a total mess. But
so my question is, my question, I mean, and I understand, and to me, from what I'm hearing, it speaks a lot to the organizers, the people who are in charge. Yes. Why aren't they interested in improving the product? I mean, this is my confusion here. I don't know if you, Dr. Brown or Val or Luther, if you can, because I figure scholar feel the same way. If all they can help us, why are they?
This conversation is beyond their ability to understand. You're dealing with a bunch of stupid people. That way you're dealing with. So they can't see the benefit of doing it right. They do it anyhow, and they get a piece of money, they pocket, and they spend all the money, and they're good. That's all.
But what about the Ministry of Culture? The ministry that is responsible for that. Aren't they hearing the cries from the public and from other Calypsonians? And because
I don't know if the Ministry of Culture is any. I don't know. I can't talk. For the Ministry of Culture, I don't know. But I feel that as a matter of fact, I feel they should get involved and take over the whole thing. And let Tuco take a side.
Right. Only want me and Scholar come down and fix it for all out.
Yes. No, you say that as a joke. But that is probably what we need, you know.
No.
Because I told you that Trinidad money does spoil you know. That is you don't understand that.
But listen to me.
There are competent, decent people around, you know, but they don't want them. They want the corruption. They want people who would go along with the status quo.
Luther, I know that we can stay here tonight and look at all the wrongs, but we have to do something. We can't just complain, you know. So I know that
how to fix it.
Yes, I know that you have something in the pipeline, and Dr. Brown has something in the pipeline. So I want to come to bring Dr. Brown in. Tell us, Josephine, what solution you can offer, and then we will hear from Luther in terms of solution. You can complain all night, you know. Yeah. So let's find solutions.
So
let me show you. The Ministry of Culture, probably about 7, 8 years ago. No? Yeah, the Ministry of Culture, they had a series of meetings with some Calypsonians. And we had people like Wendell Manwarin, who was there. Brother Resistance attended a few of the sessions, myself, and so on. And we were talking about developing rubric for the different stages of the competition and the criteria and so on and so on, to help people as to understand how to interpret and so on and so on and so on. All that went on, and absolutely nothing came out of it. As far as the organization is concerned, they're going back to what they're accustomed doing. They don't want to know, and they want people who they could control. I was given a position at one time, asked in fact to be, because of what I've been articulating and so on, they had this adjudication review committee. So the review committee would look at the performance of based on the score sheets and so on, and make recommendations how we could do things and so on and so on. And when you do that, and they make recommendation, good recommendation, they're taking you on. I said, but what you have me here for then? You are not able to do it yourself. You call me to do it, myself and 2 other people. We sit down, write up a report, so on how to fix the thing and thing. And at the end of the day, you're going back and do everything that you've been doing before. So I left. It doesn't make sense. I come in from Point Forte to come to town to do that. And with that one, I get out there for nothing here. That's for nothing. I one of them people who work for nothing. I never get paid to do anything for Tuku. Them they working, they get money, and they're doing nothing.
So
let's bring in Dr. Brown. Yeah.
Yes. Let's hear from what solution, Josephine?
Right. So based on what Luther is saying, sounds like change in administration, based on what Luther is saying, because as they said, the first one should be head. So if the organization is comfortable with mediocrity, then that's an issue. If the organization does not want to listen to the people, that's an issue. If they don't want to change for the better and improvement, then that's an issue. So that's one thing. So that is not an easy change. That change has to come from the membership of TUCO to bring about that administrative change. However, what we can do as concerned citizens, as culture enthusiasts and so on, I always believe in education. Education informally and formally. So talking about it in public, like what we are doing now, this is educating the public. Also writing about it, putting things in writing, newspaper articles, magazine articles, etc. Writing about it, and must be bombarded by this in the public domain, right? And talking about what's important, that we mentioned it earlier on, the history of Calypso, the role that Calypso plays, the important role that Calypso plays, the structure of Calypso, all those things must be part of the education that we intend to, at least I would like to engage in, as well as the importance of training of adjudicators and criteria, judging criteria. So there is so many different pockets of information and knowledge that we can put out there. In terms of the formal part of education, starting at our universities, all these music programs, like I was speaking to my colleagues, I said, it seems as though now we will have to pay greater attention to our courses in the Carnival Arts Master's program, our Carnival Studies program, to make sure that we spend more time on the judging criteria. We do. So like in Panyard Studies that I lecture in, I would have had a judging session. So I brought in panorama judges and we explained the criteria, they looked at the score sheet and so on. We also did in our Calypso 10 studies But I think we now have a responsibility that whoever is leaving our institutions is leaving not just with the knowledge of how to judge, what the criteria mean, etc., but we have to reach the affective domain in terms of integrity and all of those other things. So those are some of the suggestions that I have for bringing about a change.
Great. Great.
Scholars from
exactly what we need.
Scholar, from where you sit, you understand Calypso, you're a Calypsonian, you've earned your place in the art form, and you have a good understanding of adjudicating. What advice would you give to Trinidad, who is supposed to be the Mecca, in terms of fixing what is happening? Because in the Caribbean, things have a way of filtering. We one people. We family. We connected. Somebody in Trinidad is somebody's cousin. I'm sure Dr. Brown has some, maybe her grandfather is from Grenada. I like to claim Trinidadians, so that's all right.
No problem.
But it is a serious issue. And, it needs to be fixed because these things have a way, it has that kind of domino effect. And while we have our little issues here, I am encouraged because what we have here is nothing compared to what I'm hearing going on in Trinidad. They probably afraid Scholar, but Scholar, what would you say to them?
No, but Godfrey, I could answer that simply. I mean, I listened to Dr. Brown and I wish for Dr. Brown all the best. I mean, I wish her well with all of her pontifications. But I can tell you straight out that this thing and them, she said, this thing and them ain't go get through. The simple fact that I'm listening to them, and the simple fact of this thing is that fish that you hear they fighting with it, you are thin at the head. Mm-hmm. Even then they got the head. Nothing ain't go happen. Nothing ain't go happen. And funny enough, because since the last time you had us on a program, and I asked, I noticed in Trinidad, funny enough, that people who matriculate to the top of this two-cote are always the people who fight up in Calypso, was never good, couldn't make it, and then suddenly you hear at the helm of Calypso, you hear the Luther and the who, and so it has always baffled me, right? So why people who know the art form and connect and haven't had no big experience in it, then you'll find, and the strangest thing to me is that you have Calypsonians like Luther and them, maybe not Luther, but Luther and them, meaning of his ilk, quoting them all the time. So this problem is. They quote them all the time.
That's true.
These people and them don't hold it born if nobody cares.
The people who voted them in we are the unofficial opposition.
To be president and whatever of Tukur.
Yeah.
They're going by the ballot and they win
all the time.
So, to me, they like what they got to.
Yeah, we in opposition. You don't vote for them. We in the black book, we in the blacklist. I am a blacklisted man.
Well, Scholar, we may probably have to suggest what we have here. 2 associations.
Well, probably.
If I reach to that.
Would you believe that's a discussion now in Trinidad? Somebody asked, can there be another organization? And my response to that is, there is more than one copyright organization. So we have CUT all the time, and now we have TTCO, and then I think there's another one for religious musical productions, etc. So if there are 3 copyright organizations, why can't there be more than one Calypso association? So just a question.
Yes, the problem with that, Josephine, is subvention. The process of moving from scratch to subvention is a long journey, and the government would probably only recognize one organization in charge who they would give subvention to. And what is happening within TUCO is about subvention. And the fact that TUCO would have, on a given year, to play with about $16 million, or maybe this year is probably about $20 million. And as Scholar rightly noted, if you put cat to watch fish, you know, to play up with $20 million, it's a lot of fish that you can eat, right? So that people have become very accustomed to subventions and playing with it, so that level of corruption and malfeasance and so on that has been taking place for all these years is difficult to let go, right?
But Val can look, okay. So government pays.
I believe the ministry must get involved.
Well, this is what I'm about to ask. If government is paying these subventions, aren't they asking people to be accountable? I mean, what? So you just let go money? You just let go money, and people just do what they want? And I mean, do they understand the importance of Calypso to the bigger product, which is Carnival? So can people appeal to them to look into this and address it?
Godfrey, not only that, you know, to go have a convention. So, we don't have a convention. We don't have much money to go have a convention. Maybe they have more than one. So you're well in place. They should be accountable, accountants.
But I am thinking at the ministerial level. I mean, is it a case where the politics is so bad that even at that level they don't care?
Politics is an next part of the thing.
Let's be honest. You know, you have interest groups. Yeah, you have interest groups, and you have these, and let's say a government. But the government is not necessarily very in touch and aware of what is happening. They're not going to get involved in the day-to-day politics of the organizations. So that what they're interested in is that the various organizations who are given subvention would continue to support them in the way that the politics want to be supported. And once that is happening, you don't necessarily want to get involved in their business, you know. So I think that the end goal for the political administration is that they get the support they need when they want the support, you know, and that. I think that the uproar is what is happening now with the citizenry, who realize that they are getting shortchanged, and of course the lot of very committed Calypsonians who feel that now enough is enough and we need to do something, you know, and there is where the change has to come from, you know, the citizenry and that lot of Calypsonians who definitely feels that enough is enough.
Volume low, boy.
Right.
But Godfrey, I wanted to ask, I don't know if you asked that question, but I wanted to ask a question based on what I've been observing, right? And I have a feeling that you asked that question already, because to me that's the first question that you should have asked. Why wouldn't you all the criteria and all these things? Because there is a sense, we feel it in Grenada, listening from outside, we looking in, that a lot of the things that are happening, really Calypso, the judging and so on, is politically motivated. Right? We hear it all the time. In fact, looking through Facebook, browsing sometime today, I saw some controversy happening with some Calypsonian. They say that met with a ranger to decide that there should not be too much of Kamala bashing Calypsos in the finals and yada yada, right? And they believe that was really what is behind all of the Chucky's exclusion and the Devon Seals exclusion and what have you. And it's not just about this criteria thing. This is just academic. Nobody will care about the criteria and how the criteria. In other words, they know what they're doing, and that's what I started with. They know what they're doing. They are actually doing it on purpose, and they left out the what's his name again?
Heather McIntosh.
What's
Queen Victoria.
Victoria, right?
Yeah.
And all of these people. And it is believed, and I believe it as well from outside looking in. The only way that this thing could have played out there, with all of the criteria that all you're going through and so on, it has to be there has to be
other interference. Yes. And you have the organization entertaining that.
and the bottom line is the money.
Piece of money. Yes. Yeah. That's what happened there.
The bottom line is the money.
That is what happened.
Look, we can stay here all night and have this conversation, but we out of time, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So
I will give you one more thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Last year, a group of us got together and we wrote the organization requesting, and the Constitution allows that we come in and have a look at the organization's accounts, because we got word that they paid themselves $100,000 each from some of the executives, and including the president, who, apart from the 100, he get 350,000 for accommodation and so on. So we want to see the books and want to see exactly what went on. And they say the books under audit, so we couldn't get it. Now, we're talking about from 2020, 2021 to present. So all them books under audit. So it means that from 2021 to now, they submit no audited accounts to the NCC. So they continue to get subvention. I, in my little subtle way, called the chairman of the NCC when he was no longer chairman and asked, I said, listen, during your tenure as chairman and so on, Tuko used to submit annual returns. He said, I think so, They used to submit, I think so. I think they used to submit something. I said, well, if not, how come they continue to get subvention? And part of the conditions of getting the subvention is that you submit your annual returns. He said, well, I don't know, I think they submit, I don't know. He said no first, and then when I asked him about, well, how they gain subvention, he said, well, I think they submit something, So right there, I discovered that, they wasn't submitting anything, but they continue to get subvention. Corruption at that level also, because the political party have a thing. It is a mess, a big mess,
Right.
So all that happening, but I'm feeling confident that it wouldn't go on forever. It will come to an end. It will come to an end. This thing will go on. Yeah.
Well, let's hope so. Yeah, let's hope so. So guys, look, we're out of time. I hope we can, continue having discussions like these, because I know somehow, somewhere, it's gonna fall on the right ears, and hopefully it can spur some change. So
when it fall on the right ears, when it fall on the right ears, when they respond, them like saying, them fellas come out to get trouble, them only want them is troublemakers, like me, as a troublemaker.
I doubt it. These things only happen for so long. So Dr. Brown, I'll give you just to make your closing comments.
Yes, thank you. I would like to end by saying that Calypso is a very serious thing.
Of course.
It's one of our cultural treasures, and as Carla said, it's something not to be played with. Not just because of the spiritual aspect, but that this carries our DNA. From where we have come, from the suppression and oppression we went through to where we are, I think we deserve to give Calypso the best that we can. So I am appealing to anybody who's listening, and even to all of us here, to do our part, whatever we can, whether it's through education, whether it's through training, whether it's through negotiation, whatever, we need to get it right. And we keep saying, I'm hearing you guys saying that Trinidad is in Mecca, you all look to us, we appreciate that.
Well,
and we really need to fix it and get our act in order. So thank
Mecca
you.
Corruption. Mecca corruption. When the president of Tuco is saying that he want to get rid of political calypso in the competition, the president of Tuco, saying that get rid of political calypso, what do you expect?
It's disturbing, but that is what calypso is about.
But this is the point. But the leader, the president saying that.
Yeah.
It's not the politician, the president of Calypso organization. Saying that.
You can't get rid of Mr. President. You can't get rid of Mr. President. Scholar, you're closing.
No, all I would want to say, Godfrey, and it may sound comical, but I heard Luther say that he's confident that this would not
go on forever.
No.
But
this
hold on. But I just hope that you're not looking at it from the standpoint of God is love along the longest rope of a egg and all of this kind of
No. Beyond
that it would fix itself. Because I'm hearing the president want to get rid of things. Get rid of the president. That's what I think. Right?
That's what it is.
This kind of slogan and them God is love, God.
That is what it is. All that is true. All that is true too. But not that alone.
Let me tell you something.
We will get.
One day Congo te.
God is love. We go get rid of him.
Anything that you could fix and straighten for yourself, God ain't coming in that. God busy.
No.
Have a lot of things for God to do. So God do busy for yourself.
Yeah, God busy.
Right. Yeah. Val, okay, Luther. Val, you're closing.
I am just happy for the panel this evening, and for the level of discussion. I think it's healthy. Luther says that, Tuco cannot function at this level. So that I am happy that in this Kaiso talk, we can bring these knowledgeable individuals to bear on this situation, because it's not just Trinidad. I know, I say, Scholar Trinidad didn't have the bulk of money that we have, so yes, spoil yet. The day when you get that kind of money, you would see all kind of necromancy and things happening.
But I go and sing Kaiso.
They say power corrupts, and ultimate power corrupts ultimately. Money corrupts.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And big money corrupts. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So it is about money, and we have to fix it, because Calypso is bigger than that. And when Calypso loses moorings, as Scholar always says, in terms of where it originates, not that it has to stay there, but that it is grounded in its moorings.
Yeah.
And once it loses moorings and it becomes soft and start to bend because money flow into some headless people's pockets, then we need to change. So, but I'm thankful for the discussion this evening, and I'm sure that, as Nita says, that something needs to happen, but not in the way that Scholar pointed out just now.
Probably in the way too. Yes.
Right.
Exactly so. It has to happen.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much. I do believe at some point things will change, because nothing goes on forever,
but that is just before that.
I totally agree that the head needs to be removed, remove the head. Because, when this afternoon, for example, I was doing a program. We have this program where we speak about managing your money, and I opened, and I said to the facilitator, listen, I like Calypso. And the mere fact and we were talking about living within your means, and immediately a Kaiso came to mind. Never hang your hat where your hand can reach. And this is the power of Kaiso. And this is why I believe Calypso will not die. There are people who are going to try to tarnish its image, but it won't die. It definitely won't die. So I am hopeful, and
will be there.
We are going to do what we can, to continue to keep this thing going, keep the conversation going. We have people like Scholar, who is very passionate and who is fearless. In fact, I usually refer to him as the keeper of the flame. So that, we're going to continue doing what we have to do. So, again, thank you also very much. And Dr. Brown, we're looking forward to having you again. Luther, we're looking forward to having you on the program again.
Right.
So,
thank you very much.
And do have a good night. All the best. Yes, sir.
Thank
all right.
Good night to all. Thank you very much for having us.
Yes, indeed. Thanks a lot.
Okay, bye-bye.
The time has moved on now to just about 5 minutes gone past the hour of 10 o'clock. This is where we wrap for this evening. Thank you for staying with us. It was a pleasure. You can join us again next week for another Kaiso Talk.
It's a purchase property.